Good morning, folks. Maverick here. Got a great opportunity to film the bike and some of the planes here at the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour of what I get to see here at the United States Naval Academy. Going to flip around, turn and burn. We come upon the F-4 Phantom. As you know, the F-4 Phantom was the premier dogfighter Vietnam War up until the early 80s, where it was replaced by the F-14 Tomcat. But the problem with this weapon system is it happened to, as you'll know in the Top Gun movie, not have a gun on it. So that resulted in a loss of air-to-air kills, Korea versus Vietnam. So they were able to make the fifth version, I believe it was the Echo, with a internally mounted gun, but until then they had to put a gun pod on it. So you could say that this plane is sort of responsible for starting Top Gun. Next you have the A6 Intruder, known as the Wild Weasel birds. These did electronic countermeasures, mostly during the Vietnam War. And what their job was to go in, and their job was to basically phase out the enemy radar and fire a harm missile if they had it. Now the harm missile would follow the radar waves down to the radar site and knock out the antenna for the enemy radar, so the other fighters could get involved. So here you have a Marine Corps version of the A6 Intruder. And then in the background, you got my favorite, F-14 Tomcat. This is a member of VF-124, the Gunfighters. Interesting note, my first flight suit that I ever had was from the VF-124 Gunfighters. That's what I wore back in 1992. But as you can see, the F-14 Tomcat, that was the premier intercept fighter, the plane made famous by Top Gun, but it was the premier intercept fighter for the United States Navy until it got phased out in the early 2000s. Basically, it carried the Phoenix missile. That missile system was able to strike targets about 100 miles away. It also carried the Sparrow missile, which was a radar-guided missile, and of course the Sidewinder missile. So here we got all the planes here that are at the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Come check them out. It's a great time, and they have great tours.